What's going on, guys? Let me just share this out real quick. Um, Sorry if you can hear my wife's show in the background. Basically, I wanted to make this stream because, well, I basically about my dog Striker. He ended up passing away today. Well, not passing away. My parents put him down. He was old. It was his time. Um, you know, my dad is pretty upset about it. Um, so it's something that yeah, um, I feel like I just want to do a stream, talk about movies, talk about life, talk about different things, not necessarily talk about Striker or anything like that. Uh, at the end of the day, a dog's life is different from a human's life, and um, a human's journey is a lot different than a dog's journey. But I wanted to make this video because my dad had told me like, hey, you can go ahead and make some type of in memory video for Striker. And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, what's the best way to do this? And that's just basically just coming on here, talking to you guys, and just kind of talking a little bit about an aspect of my life that has been a part of my life for years that's kind of gone. And this channel is dedicated to movies. I do movie reviews, I do movie news, trailer reviews, whatever. I do a bunch of different things on this channel, and so I've never really done something like this where I talk about something else, a different aspect of my life. And I felt like I wanted to just kind of do this video because I want you guys to kind of see a little bit about me and who I truly am. Because a dog really is man's best friend. Um, um, Sorry, guys. I'm tweeting this stuff out. And, so my dad, he was everything to this dog. I mean, this dog meant so much to him. So I'm really making this stream, I guess, for my dad, because I want him to be able to know how much I truly cared for Striker and for my dog. He is the first dog that I've ever had. I remember when I was a kid, I would always tell my dad, "Hey, I'd tell my parents, I'd love to have a dog. I just want to have, some type of cool pet." And to me, cats are cool, but I'm a huge dog person. I really love dogs. I think there's a lot more dogs bring to a family. There's a lot more that dogs kind of can do for a family. And so my brother and I, we always wanted a dog. It's something that we've always wanted. Um, and we had bugged my parents for years. And my dad, he's really into hunting, and he loves duck hunting. He loves, geese hunting. And he wanted also to get a dog so that way he could have a hunting dog, because a lot of dogs are really good for, for hunting. So that's what he decided to do. He said, "You know what? We're going to go out and get a dog, and we're going to get a black lab." And this black lab is going to be my hunting dog. He's going to be, a family dog, but hunting really was the thing that my dad, drove home to us. Like, hey, look, this dog is going to be first and foremost a hunting dog. And so we were like, okay, we're fine with that. So my dad and my mom, they went to an Amish family a couple hours away from where I live, and they ended up getting Striker, and they brought him home. And I remember I was super excited. My brother was really excited. We never had a dog before, and he was in our kitchen for a while. And he was a puppy. And my cousin Amber came over. She was really happy, because it was cool for her to have like to see a puppy, and so it was a lot of fun. And that was a really good moment. I remember Striker was really scared. He had no idea, what was going on, how to live life really. And it was a bizarre situation for him because he had to get used to us, and he got used to us really quickly. And for years, I think we got Striker when I was, oh man, I want to say like 9 or 10. um he lived a really good life. This dog was so spoiled that I felt like at times my dad cared more about this dog than he did about me, even though that's not true. But he lived a really good life. He never really could hunt because he was so anxious and like so excited to get a bird that he wouldn't stay still. And so he kind of just became a house dog. And he slept in the house. He slept always next to my dad. Anytime, any room that my dad was in, there's a very good chance that my dog was going to be in that room. And he loved my dad. I mean, honestly, I could go up to my dad, and if my dad was sleeping and I try waking him up or something, Stryker would be upset with me because he knows how important my dad is to him. And so that was something that was really cool to see, because I'd always heard, a dog is man's best friend, and truly this dog was my dad's best friend. And my dad really cared about this dog a lot, and I cared about the dog. um, you know I remember a couple years ago, back in 2017, I was living in California, and my cat that I loved, Kiko, he had died. And it was really tough because that was the animal that I really loved. Because when I was a younger kid, I had friends, but at the same time, like, I would always, I'm a very personal person where I keep a lot of my feelings in, and I don't usually um, share my raw emotions with people. But I would always vent to my cat. It was just something stupid and weird, but I was young, and I was a kid, and I was naive. And I feel like that mechanism was something that I was also able to do with Stryker and with my dog. So I just kind of wanted to make this, little stream. It's been an interesting day for sure. My dad had messaged me. He messaged me and my two brothers, and in this group chat on Facebook, and he's like, "Hey boys, we're putting Stryker down." And it was, to me, it's sad, but there's more joy than anything else, because he was in pain and he was suffering, and now he's not. My dad was saying, and I talked to my parents earlier today. My parents get really attached very easily, so I wanted to see how my parents were doing. My mom seemed pretty fine. My dad was, he cried, and I've never, seen my dad ever cry, and so hearing that he cried was just, it broke my heart. Made me a little emotional. And I talked to him about it, and my dad said, it was really tough. Um, I was really sad, but honestly, like, that ride to the vet today to put him down was the happiest he's been in such a long time. And I told him, I was like, well, it's probably because he knew that what you guys were going to do was going to to benefit him, and he knew that his suffering was going to be over. And it was just a really nice moment to talk to my dad, and get his thoughts, his feelings on everything, and making sure he's all right. He's sad. That was his best friend. That was the one thing that my dad is also a lot like me, where he has a tough time um, sharing his emotions, and I could see that he would use Stryker as a way to kind of cope with a lot of the things that he was feeling. And so it's heartbreaking for sure, but honestly, it's a joyous thing because we can celebrate his life, and think about how happy he is now that he is at peace. And my dad was also happy because the vet let him actually go inside, and Stryker was able to sleep on his hand one last time, which is really touching and really moving. Um, and today was also a day that legendary horror icon, actor Sid Haig had passed away, and so it's an interesting day for sure. death is never something um, that you welcome. It's never something that you um, like hearing about. It's not about that at all. Um, it's really about it's hard. It's hard mourning someone, but at the same time, it's also a great celebration of that life. And a lot of people close to me and a lot of my friends and stuff know this, but you guys are my audience, and I want to be real and upfront and honest with you guys. Back in 2014, so 5 years ago, which is crazy to think it was 5 years ago. One of my very, very close friends, Evan Stone. Now, me and him, we our history was interesting because me and him, we were like really good friends. He was probably my best friend for like a year and a half or 2 years, and that was when we were. I want to say that was before we were even in high school. Me and him, we hung out all the time, and I remember staying the weekend at his house, and he'd come over and stay the weekend at my house, like the next weekend. And then we had a little bit of a falling out in high school. You kind of grow up, you kind of get into your own social circle, and he had different friends than I did, and that's what happens in life. Life does that. And so um, about probably I'd say late 2012. Evan and I, we had become close again. And I remember also another reason why we fell out, had a falling out, was he actually ended up moving to a neighboring school, and I didn't get to see him as much. But in late 2012, I'd say maybe early 2013, we started rekindling that friendship that we had before. And you know, in 2014, at this time, me and him, we were both a part of this. No, it was 2013, not even 2014. 6 years ago. Like, I said 2014 because I didn't want to believe how long it's been. It's been that long. So in 2013, I'm sorry, 2013, um, it's crazy. Time moves so fast that you just forget dates. But in April 24th, which is my mom's birthday, 2013, um, Evan, committed suicide, and it was really tough because at this time, for a few months, I remember me and him, we would do this thing at my school called the Sabres News Network. So we were part of this like news team, and me and him, we were anchors, and he loved it. He had so much fun doing it. I had so much fun, being on screen with him. He was so funny, and everyone loved him. I mean, he was loved by every single person, and he took his own life, and it was really tough. And that was one of the things that was probably one of the hardest days I've ever had in my life, and it really made me contemplate a lot. And I remember when that happened, I remember coming out of school, out of my play practice that I had because we were doing Grease at the time, and my I was with my brother Matt. We were walking out of school. This was before we even knew about what happened. Um, one of our friends, Mark, was like driving so fast down the road, probably going like 50 in a 20. Um, and he literally stopped. He saw us. He stopped. He rolled down his window and he goes, "Guys, you need to get to Evan's house now." And we had no idea what happened. We just got in my brother's car and we left. We left for Evan's house. We picked up a couple of our friends because they were worried. And then, I remember being in the car, with it was all four of us, and I just remember um, talking to my friend Alyssa, and she said that Evan is dead, and it was. I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life. I'll never forget it, and it shocked me. I didn't believe it. I didn't shed a tear. Nothing. I didn't believe it. I was in shock. I remember going cold and pale, and I turned over to Matt and I was like, "Evan's dead," and Matt didn't believe it either. The exact same thing happened to him, and we get to Evan's house. We see the ambulance outside. We see people standing around, a lot of our friends and classmates and stuff. And I lived in a very small town, so everyone knew everyone. Um, and I got out of the car and immediately I bawled. I bawled my eyes out. Immediately once I got out of the car, that emotional weight just fell right on top of me. Um, and I remember the best friend I've ever had in my entire life is this kid named Richard Polici. He's the greatest person I've ever known. He's just the rock of a person. He's so good. He's such a good person. And me and him, we have been best friends for a long time, but we had kind of, I don't want to say had a fight, but we were kind of angry with each other. And he was the first person that I saw, and we both like he came right up, running up to me, and I ran up to him, and we gave each other a big hug. And he's like, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry too." And we cried, and it was really tough. It was the toughest thing that I think my community had ever gone through. Um, Going to school the next day, we didn't even have class. The teachers just kind of let us do whatever we wanted, and it was really hard. It was really hard. So grief has always been something that has been hard to deal with, and it's always going to be something that's hard to deal with because you miss people, or you miss, I guess you miss animals, you miss just things that are in your life and things that have kind of impacted you as a person. And the greatest thing I remember about the whole experience with Evan is the fact that yes, we mourned, but we also celebrated. We celebrated his life. We celebrated his achievements. Um, we talked about all of the good memories we had. And I remember that was one thing that we all did. Everyone, all of Evan's friends, we all came together. We had this bonfire, and we just talked about Evan, and we talked about the fun moments that we had with him, and his achievements and how much he meant to us. And it's something that, looking back now, I'm so happy that I had that opportunity to do that. And I wouldn't change that for the world. I miss Evan every single day. Um, every single day. And there's not a day that goes by where I don't think about him, or at least in some aspect, I don't think about him or that day. And I would do anything to see Evan again. But I'm also grateful that as a community, as a group of people, we were able to come together and not just mourn, but also just celebrate his life. And because that's what Evan would want. That's what he would want. And it was really tough. It was a really tough, trying time for me. I was grateful for friends. I was grateful for family who came and supported me. I remember my mom came to the fire station near where Evan lived, because he lived in a neighboring town. Um, that was only like 15 minutes away from my house, and my mom came. She wasn't upset with me or anything, because I didn't call her or anything. I didn't tell her where I was. She came to the fire station. She just said, "Hey, look, do you want to talk about it?" I remember spending the night at one of my friends' houses. I was like, I can't go home. Um, it wasn't good for us to go home, so I stayed the night at my friend Sydney's house, um, which was interesting because it was my brother and I. It was I think it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. I don't remember what day. It might have been a Thursday, I think. And school was, yeah, because the next day I think was Friday. So it was like a Thursday night, and I stayed at my friend Sydney's house, who lived right behind me, granted. And it was interesting because I stayed the night at a girl's house, and I was in high school, and it was a Thursday, and her parents were there and stuff, and there was, I think there was like three or four of my friends that were girls, and then it was me, my brother, and one of our other friends. And it was difficult. And I remember, we were all in my friend Sydney's room. We were just talking about Evan, and it was definitely a tough time for everyone. But what I'm trying to get with the story is, like, dealing with grief is something that's hard for everyone, and everyone deals with it in a certain way. um for me, having Stryker be a part of my life for so long has been a blessing. It really has. It's been a blessing to me and my family. And it's a grieving period, but it's one that I'll look back on and be grateful that I had the experience because it's going to build us, it's going to make us stronger, and it's going to make us more united. Um, it's been a tough day for my dad. It's been a tough day for my family, but at the end of the day, this is the best way I feel like I can dedicate something to Stryker. And he was a dog that had a great life. I don't. He was spoiled beyond belief, um, and he had a great best friend in my dad. Um, he was a dog that, I don't know. He was just a very nice dog. He would bark, yes. He was protective, but at the same time, he was so excited to meet new people, and it was just a really really nice experience to have a dog. He's the first dog I ever really had. Um, that was my dog. And it was just a really cool experience. He was a black lab, chocolate lab mix. We got him from the Amish, and yeah, I think my parents will probably get another dog. My mom is saying no, we're not getting another dog. It's too hard. It's too heartbreaking when they die. But my dad, I know him, and I know that he'll grieve, he'll mourn, he'll take his time. But I know that they'll get another dog. They definitely will. And now they only have one cat, um, which is a cat that is kind of annoying, but it's not bad. It's not a bad cat, and I don't really think of it as like my cat because it hasn't been a part of my life really that long. When I was living in El Salvador for 2 years, they had gotten the cat. I think it was like 6 or 7 months into my mission. I can't remember, um, but at the end of the day, it's tough. And when a person dies, I think there's a lot more grief that goes into it, um, because that's a human life, and it's tough because we have more memories, more experiences. We can actually have conversations with people. Sid Haig, I'm gonna be honest, I've only ever seen him in Halloween, the Rob Zombie Halloween, and I have not seen him as Captain Spaulding. It is something that I do want to watch those movies. But I know that he was a giant in the horror community, and he'll be greatly missed. And I'm grateful for the work that he has given us, and that we can reflect on that work and be able to, watch his films, watch his all the characters that he has given us. So just wanted to make the short stream. It's nothing like super special or anything like that. It's very on the fly. Didn't expect to make a stream today, but that's the way that the world works. Is things happen on a day-to-day basis. Movies are amazing. Uh, I love movies. They have become a part of my life, become a staple of my life. But at the end of the day, life is more important, and death is outweighs the impact movies make. And I understand that. Um, I don't usually, like I said, I don't usually make these videos. If you're new to my channel and you're watching this for the first time, I do not usually make this type of a video where I talk about something outside of movies. But I just figured it was something that I could do for my family, so my dad can know that. Um, my dad can know that I truly did love this dog. And I'm open. If you guys want to talk about movies, if you guys want to talk about anything, that is a good way for me to grieve. So I'm gonna my buddy Jose, who is awesome, who lives right next door to me actually. uh, Sorry bro, I'm sure he will be watching Joker with us from Dog Heaven. Yeah, he would be. I think he would really enjoy Joker. Yeah, he was a good dog. And thanks, Jose. Thank you for your condolences. And more so, I want you guys, if you are going to send your condolences, like really direct them towards my family. For me, it is tough, and it's something that is hard for me. But at the same time, that dog meant more to my parents. That dog meant more to my dad than anybody else. And I've never seen my dad truly love something so much, I guess. I'm not saying he doesn't love me and love my brother and stuff, but there was some special connection that he had with that dog. Where if you came to visit my house, no matter where my dad was in the house, you could almost guarantee when Stryker was able to walk and he was like in his prime. There's almost you could almost guarantee that he was in that same exact room with my dad. Didn't matter if my dad was in the bathroom. Didn't matter if my dad was in his bedroom. Didn't matter if my dad was in the kitchen. Stryker was going to follow him, and that dog was everything to my dad. So yeah, if you're gonna send your condolences, I greatly appreciate it. I just hope that you kind of direct them more towards my dad and my mom, as they're most likely going to watch this video. Um, and I remember 2 years ago, I had a different YouTube channel. The video's not up now, but I I did a kind of in memory of my cat, which that hit me harder. That was more of like a pain in my heart because I truly love that cat. That cat, I don't care what anybody says, that was my cat. That was my cat. And I was very grateful that I was able to see Kiko, after I came back home from El Salvador because I didn't think I was going to. And my dog Stryker, the last time I got to see him was when I was home in Pennsylvania, and that's something that I'll cherish forever. And that dog was always like, how dogs beg. You know how like dogs, if you're eating food, they'll like come up to you, and they'll like look at you, and then they'll be like, "Give me some food." That my dog was the epitome of that. Like that was him in a nutshell. But when I was home, he didn't really do that, and he was just couldn't walk, and he's in a better place. He's at peace, and so we shouldn't look at this as a goodbye um, or a tragedy or something sad. We should look at this as celebrating a life, and whether that life be a person, whether that life be an animal, like in this instance, whether that life be a plant. I mean, there are things that whether it be a celebrity that we don't know, there are things that we are drawn to. I remember the celebrity death that really impacted me was Carrie Fisher, because anybody who follows me knows Star Wars is my favorite thing like ever on the planet. I am a huge Star Wars fan, and when Carrie Fisher passed, that hurt. And I remember I was literally in tears because even though I didn't know her, I felt like I did. And Princess Leia is, in my opinion, one of, if not the greatest female character in movies, not horror. I don't know why I said horror. I think I was just like looking at Halloween. That's on my shelf right there, and I just said horror. Princess Leia is one of the greatest female characters on screen, and it was really tough. That hurt a lot, and I understand the horror community right now is grieving the loss of Sid Haig, and my condolences go out to him, go out to his family, those closest to him, the horror community as a whole. It's something that is very tough. And Sid Haig was somebody who I wasn't very familiar with his work, but I know that he was somebody who shined a light, and he was a very, very well-respected person within the horror community and with the movie sphere in general. So it's really tough to go through a loss, and I know everyone in life has gone through a loss, and we're going to continue to go through losses in life. And it's something that's hard to grieve with. It's something that's hard to move on from. But as long as we stay strong, as long as we find solace in whatever it is. I mean, you guys here on this channel, I'm sure you guys watch because you love movies. True horror fanatic, thank you so much for your condolences. You're a horror fanatic. You can find solace in horror, and that's what's so great about entertainment. And that's one reason why I love film. That's one reason why I love entertainment, is because we can find solace and restitution within the things that we watch. And movies have a very powerful impact on our lives, and they can help us in the darkest times. Um, they can help us in the joyous times as well. But it's something that we're all gonna have to deal with one way or another. And again, to my parents, that dog meant a lot more than it did to me. And not that I didn't love the dog, but I've been gone from home for so long that I didn't see the dog that much. And my parents, my younger brother, it's really hard too, because my dad is pretty sad as it is, because I left the house, and then my little brother, my youngest brother Devin, he just graduated and now he's in college at Pitt, and so he doesn't live at home. My parents don't have anybody, and so it's just really tough. That was the one constant that we had in our household. And the dog, it was his time. He was put down, and it's he's in a happier place. And yeah, I want to thank all of you guys. I find a lot of solace in this channel, making videos for you guys. It's something that I've absolutely loved doing. And when I started this channel, my goal was to really kind of put out there for my family and friends what I thought about certain films, because I'm very critical when it comes to movie watching. And they would always ask me what I thought about this movie or this movie or this movie. So it was more for them. And as I've grown and my channel's kind of evolved a lot, I realized that I love doing this, and I want to make friends through YouTube. I want to build connections through this channel, and impact movie lovers in general, not just my family. I lost 3 dogs in my lifetime. I know it's tough, but always remember to keep your chin up. Thank you so much, True Horror Fanatic. And yeah, man, it's tough, man. Dogs are a man's best friend, and it's something that's hard. Luckily, my dad had told me this morning before they actually put my dog down. Even though my mom wanted him to wait until after, which I'm actually happy that he had told me. He reached out, told me and my 2 brothers about what was happening, and we kept messaging each other back and forth different pictures that we had of STRYKER, and yeah, it was really good. It was a great moment for my family, and I was able to talk to my dad, and he's doing all right. But again, I'm happy that you guys are expressing your condolences, and I really appreciate it and thank you. But I hope that you can direct your condolences more towards my family, more towards my dad in general, so that way when he watches this video, he can see how amazing and how loving this fan base is. But yeah, it's been a tough day. It's been a tough day. Sid Haig and then my dog. And yeah, Halloween's coming up, and which is like my favorite time of the year, because just like I'm a huge horror fan, and this is just one thing that that's going to be on my mind. It's definitely going to be on my mind for the next little bit, but it's not going to stop me from making content. It's not going to stop me from watching movies or just kind of living my life. But really, it's going to motivate me, I think, more to make more content. I recently watched Devil's Rejects. Sid Haig is truly amazing. Thank you for sharing that, True Horror Fanatic. And again, I've only seen him in Halloween, the Rob Zombie Halloween. He plays like a caretaker for at a cemetery. I thought he did a really good job. He was actually like one of the highlights of that movie for me, and especially like the I want to say because it's like it's almost that transition of like first to second act, and honestly, he does such a good job with that small little role. And I remember he was kind of iconic. I've never seen any of the movies that he's played or portrayed Captain Spaulding in. But today I felt like kind of going through a little bit of a rabbit hole and finding a bunch of Sid Haig material. I got to watch some scenes that he did in Devil's Rejects where he was Captain Spaulding, and oh my gosh, I was floored. He was, I believe he was like, correct me if I'm wrong, True Horror Fanatic, but he was like 60 or like maybe in his mid 60s, and he was amazing. He was so awesome, and he was terrifying. He was really terrifying, um, and that's the thing is he's so beloved, and I feel bad because I've never really watched a lot of films that he's been in. I think I've seen him in other things, but I vaguely remember. And I know that he was very prevalent in the Rob Zombie films because he had a really good relationship with Rob Zombie. And I'm not the biggest Rob Zombie fan, even though I do plan on True Horror Fanatic, and for all of you guys watching, I do reviews of House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell, which is coming to Blu-ray on October 15th. And I plan on buying that. I plan on buying all three of them on Blu-ray, because I really want to see this trilogy, because I've heard that a lot of people really like these movies. Not hearing great things about Three from Hell, but we'll see. I usually kind of wait till I have my own, till I watch it, and to really kind of expound upon my thoughts or like thoughts from other people, I guess. But I'm really excited to watch now. Now that I have a purpose, I want to dedicate all three of those videos to Captain Spaulding himself, Sid Haig, and yeah, truly amazing, man. I heard that he rejuvenated his career from House of a Thousand Corpses, and that's amazing. That's amazing to me. And I also watched a video today where it was posted by the Horror Show on YouTube, which if you have not seen the Horror Show, you should definitely subscribe to them. They make really good content. Not only do they do movie reviews, but they do a lot of like behind the scenes horror stuff. And they did one where it was oh man, the guy who plays Art the Clown in Terrifier. I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Glenn Howard or something. And Sid Haig are doing their makeup to play, obviously Art and Captain Spaulding, and that was really cool. And Sid Haig, at the time he was 80. This happened this year when they went to the behind the scenes makeup stuff. Sid Haig was truly funny. He made some really good jokes, and you could tell that he was, even though he was really sick, and you could definitely tell by looking at him, he still had a very positive spirit about him. And so he'll be greatly missed. And I agree with those of you in the horror community. I can't wait to go down the Sid Haig rabbit hole and watch a lot of his performance. Honestly, with his passing, I want to go and watch Halloween again just for that one scene. Rob Zombie's Halloween. If you want to truly, it just jumped to this. If you want a truly disturbing movie that will haunt you for the rest of your life, check out a Serbian film. I have heard about that one. I don't know, man. I don't know if that film's for me. It's interesting because I have watched a lot of reviews on that movie. I've heard a lot about it. I've seen certain clips. And I don't know if I could watch that, man. I don't know. I love horror, and I love movies that are kind of like that, but a lot more tame. I don't know. There are some things that do really get under my skin, and some of the subject matter in that film really does get under my skin. So I don't know if I will really watch that one. Thank you for the recommendation, and maybe someday, maybe I'll be like, I'm gonna watch a Serbian film, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I watched the movie first, then give my own opinion. Three from Hell is a movie I'm excited to see, and that's the great thing is, to me, reviews, are they important? Yes, I do believe I am of the opinion that reviews are important because nowadays, movies are an investment. They're an investment of time and money. And Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, whatever website you use, even YouTube videos, they are a very good indicator of whether or not people should spend their time and their money on watching a certain film. And honestly, I'm excited to watch it too because there's the one thing about Rob Zombie that frustrates me, him as a director. He has an incredible style, an awesome style. Like the the only two films I've ever watched that he's done is granted are the Halloween films because I'm a huge Halloween fan. Um, and the thing that frustrates me is his visual style is phenomenal. Where it's like, wow, this guy, he has the makings of having like making a top 10 or maybe even top 100 greatest horror film of all time. But the dude needs to tone it down in terms of writing. Either he needs to tone it down or he needs to have someone else write his material because a lot of the dialogue, oh man, it's just trash, like trash coming out of people's mouths. And it's hard because it's like the dude is frustrating because it's like he has so many cool things. Like there's so many good elements that he uses when it comes to visual style and when it comes to filmmaking. But in terms of his language, in terms of just the filth that like is in a lot of the language, which language doesn't bother me, but it's like when you have it, every single sentence is just a, just filth. It's just it really gets under my skin. And not only that, but it's almost like he almost writes himself into a corner sometimes where he tries to do some philosophical things and tries to do like his own style to certain elements of the film, but it's like he doesn't know how to execute it or doesn't know how to explain it to the point where like the audience understands why this thing is kind of popping up. And that's the thing. He's a frustrating director. If he could get someone to write, or not even write, he writes the film and he just has someone proofread and edit it and be like, okay, you need to take this out. You need to take this out. You need to take this out. The dude would be a masterful director who'd be getting a lot more work. But he just, he loves the control. And also he loves putting his wife in all of his films. And Sherry Moon Zombie, she's nice to look at, but as an actress, I don't think she's really good, to be honest. But honestly, Rob Zombie's he's an acquired taste, and I understand that. There's a lot of Rob Zombie fans, and that's amazing. And it's frustrating because I do feel like I'm very interested in everything he puts out, but at the same time, it's like the dude just needs to tone it down a bit. That movie will crush your soul a lot. It is truly terrifying. Oh, you're talking about Serbian film. Yeah, I agree with the dialogue, and Devil's Reject, it oddly works. And another thing about him too, and this is just kind of something that just kind of popped in my head. Every single movie, from what I've heard, I haven't watched, again, I've only watched 2 Halloween films, but I have heard this about all of his films. There is this trashy, hick, kind of, how do I want to put this, trailer park vibe in all of his movies. And it's very prevalent in Rob Zombie's Halloween, where it's just like trailer park, dirty, nasty, like white beater American, just trashy vibe. And it's, I don't know, like I don't know if like Rob Zombie likes or is influenced by like that type of a setting, or if he's just kind of very invested into that type of style and he thinks it's like visually appealing, but it gets old a bit. I think the dude also, one thing that he should do is he should maybe just make one film outside of horror. Just one film outside of horror. Don't do comedy because your comedy doesn't work in your films. I think if he did maybe, I don't know, like I don't want to say a thriller because that's very close to a horror film. If he did like a drama, like a movie like Gangs of New York or something of that type of style, he doesn't write the script. I think that would help him even better as a director because he could show that he has a dramatic flair to his style of filmmaking, which I want there to be some drama in every movie because that's what makes movies. That's what helps movies have stakes and have real problems and issues. And so I don't know. I could go all day about Rob Zombie. I think Rob Zombie, I know he has a big cult following, and if you love Rob Zombie, I'm not taking anything away from you. If all that works for you, everything that I just said works for you, then that is totally fine. I don't want to, ruin anybody's day or say that they're wrong because they're not. Movies are subjective. But from what I've seen from Rob Zombie is I feel like it's frustrating because he could be such a great filmmaker and he has one really great, memorable top 100 horror film in him, but the dude just needs to really let someone else write his scripts or just absolutely tone it down. Rob Zombie should direct a musical, hillbilly musical. I would be, you know what? I would watch that. I'm not gonna lie, I would watch that if I found out like Rob Zombie was directing. I'm trying to think of like a musical. If he was gonna direct Wicked, which the musical goes to film for the first time, I would watch that. I'd be there day one. Because the dude has style. He just really needs someone to not let him have total creative control and free reign. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Three from Hell. I haven't watched the other two films, even though I know what happens in Devil's Rejects. But that shouldn't take away from my movie going experience. And I know that he's an acquired taste. I know that a lot of people don't like him, but there are a lot of fans out there who really do like him, and especially in the horror community. And I'm kind of confused. And help me out, true horror fanatic, if you can. With Rob Zombie, like for example, Devil's Rejects, is that a horror film or is it like a revenge thriller? Because I've heard both ways, but to me, from what it sounds like, it sounds more like a revenge thriller than like a horror film. Is Three from Hell supposed to be a sequel? Yes. Yeah, from what I'm told, it's a sequel to The Devil's Rejects. And Sid Haig only has one scene in it because he's been very sick. And Rob Zombie also tweeted that out, I think, earlier today. Which was very touching. He had a really good relationship with Sid Haig, which is awesome. But he had said that Sid Haig has one scene in it, and he wishes that he would have been able to do more, but his condition just didn't let him. And Sid Haig also knew that this was most likely going to be his last film, and he wanted to go out with in a great moment. And so that's another reason why I'm excited to watch Three from Hell now. I can't wait to watch Sid Haig's last performance on screen, and yeah, I'm more excited now than I was before, and it's just because I want to celebrate Sid Haig. I want to celebrate his life. But yes, it is a sequel to The Devil's Rejects. Because another thing too, if you Devil's Rejects can be viewed as a revenge thriller with a ton of disturbing stuff thrown in it. It's 50-50. Okay. Yeah, it looks more to me like it's a revenge thriller than it is a horror film. So that's why I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on it, because I know you've watched it. And to me, it just sounded more of like a revenge thriller from everything that I've heard. I really want to do this. I had this really cool idea about reviewing every Rob Zombie film and then doing reviews on them All right, did I just? I'm stupid. Reviewing every Rob Zombie film and then ranking every single one. But I don't think I'm going to do that this year, only because I have other plans. October is going to be really packed already with a lot of the things that I want to do, and so I'm just going to do the Firefly family films, which is House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. I don't think 31 is 31 somehow connected, True Horror Fanatic, because I've heard that like 31 has some characters or something from the Firefly family in the film. So if you could let me know, that'd be great. Because if it is, and I've heard 31 is the worst film by Rob Zombie, but and it's a dread to watch. But if it is, then I might have to watch that one. I hated House of a Thousand. Really, you hated House of a Thousand Corpses? Why'd you hate it, man? That's probably the one that I'm most looking forward to be honest, out of all three, especially after watching some Captain Spaulding stuff today. And I think House of a Thousand Corpses, I believe. Let me check real quick. Sorry, guys, I know this is unprofessional, but I want to see. I think it was Rob Zombie's first film. And you guys probably in the comments are like, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is." But let's see. I know he's directed a bunch of music videos. Let's see. Yeah, first film. He's done House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. He's written every single film that he's directed, which again, that's the problem. Except for, well, that's a musical performance. Halloween, Werewolf Woman of the SS. What is that? I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't even know what that is. Halloween 2, Haunted World of El Super Beasto. Animated comedy horror. Ooh, music. Is that music film? Sweet. I'm gonna have to check that out. Lords of Salem, which I've wanted to watch that for a while. I've actually heard that that's his best film. Some people regard it as his best. 31, which again I've heard is not very good. Yeah, and Three from Hell. So he's done quite a bit. He's done quite a bit of stuff. Haven't seen 31, and yeah, I heard some terrible stuff. But yeah, I've heard I've heard 31. The intro is awesome, but that's it. I've heard the rest of it is just a dread to watch. Sadego was great, but he wasn't in the movie too much. Interesting. He's probably more in the Devil's Rejects then. I'm guessing he's probably like one of the main characters. Because somehow, like all of Rob Zombie's films, I guess outside of Halloween and Lords of Salem, they all connect somehow. So that's kind of interesting to me. He's kind of like built his own world, where it's like Quentin Tarantino, who, by the way, I have two favorite directors, Christopher Nolan, and that's working today. My two favorite directors working today, Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino is known for having like this Tarantino-verse where silently things connect, but they're not like super public about it. The only thing that has been public is that I think is it Aldo Rain? No. It's the Bear Jew, played by Eli Roth. He is related to is it Dr. Schultz from Django? I think so. So, and that's been confirmed. So that's the thing is, I like that, Rob Zombie has kind of said, you know what, I'm going to make all these different films that feel like individual films, but they're also going to be kind of connected. And I hated the rest of the characters in the movie. The random images that pop in take me out of the movie. The Devil's Rejects paints the characters as almost completely different characters, and they're characters who are anti-heroes who are really terrible people that kill really terrible people. But I heard that you can kind of get behind it because, they're your protagonists in the story. It's like Rambo. Rambo is a person who does really terrible things to really terrible people. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm definitely expect those Rob Zombie, I guess, Firefly family reviews probably within the next couple of weeks, because October 15th is when Three from Hell comes out, and I want to do the 2 reviews before Three from Hell, which I am going to buy on Blu-ray. I saw it coming to 4K, but I'm not going to buy it on 4K. I'm just going to buy the Blu-ray of it. Sherry Moon Zombie was awful in House of a Thousand Corpses. She was annoying. Yeah, I don't like her. She's not a very good actress. She wasn't good in Halloween either. And Rob Zombie has this thing where he just likes showing off his wife's body, and it's like, why? Why do you do this? It's like, it's what I do. I just like showing my wife's butt, my wife's butt, and all that stuff because it's cool. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I got so much hate for not liking House of a Thousand Corpses. LOL. Hey, I'm not gonna hate you, man. I haven't even seen the movie. That's one that I have been a little bit more excited about because I think I don't know as much about it as I do know more like about The Devil's Rejects. So that's what makes me kind of excited about it. Whereas like a lot of other films, like Rob Zombie's films, I have kind of some intel about, or I know a little bit about before going in. House of a Thousand Corpses, I really don't know anything, and I kind of don't want to know anything. So yeah, honestly, those reviews will probably be in the middle of October. I'm going to make a video about this very soon, probably do another live stream within the next couple of days. But I want to talk a little bit about my schedule for October, because October is going to be the biggest month of the Film Fan channel ever in history. I am such a horror buff. October is my favorite month of the year. Usually a lot of people would assume it's December because my birthday and Christmas fall on that month, but I absolutely love October. I love Halloween spirit. I love ghosts and ghouls. I love watching just everything about scary stuff, whether it be, paranormal activity type of like real life stuff, or whether it be film, whether it be television. And so in October, everything on this channel, except for a lot of new releases, Joker, don't worry, which Jose, me and him are going to go see it October 3rd at 6 p.m. Cannot wait. I will be doing a review of Joker, non-spoiler and spoiler. I'll do a live spoiler discussion of Joker. So I'll still be doing new releases. I'll have, obviously reviews on that and everything else, all the other new release movies that even aren't horror. I'll still do videos on those. But I am going to be doing every single day, 6 days of the week. Sunday, I'm just going to I need a day off at least once during the week, and that'll be on Sunday. I will be doing nothing but horror content. So you're going to see a Joker review, most likely on October 4th, a non-spoiler review. You'll also see a horror film, something with horror and something with film on October 4th. Whether it be I'll be doing different reviews, I'll be doing live commentaries. Right now I have one live commentary planned for my all-time favorite horror film, which is Halloween, and that will be on October 1st. Really excited. I'll post more information about that later on. Whether it be, I'm actually going to be choosing between between two franchises, I guess I should say, of which franchise I want to review every single movie and rank all the films in that franchise. Those two franchises, and I want you guys right now, you guys can comment down below which franchise you would like me to review. The options are Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, the two basic ones, but honestly, Nightmare on Elm Street, I have every Nightmare on Elm Street film except for the remake, which I am going to be getting, within like the week or so. Friday the 13th, I have most of the films. I'll just probably honestly download some of the other ones, or not download some of the other ones. I'll probably just rent some of the other ones, or I'll also probably just go out and buy some of the other ones. So I will be doing a complete review series of that franchise and then a ranking at the end of it. And I have been thinking about watching every single Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th film anyway, regardless, and doing a 31 on 31 ranking video on October 31st. I know a lot of people did this last year. I'm borrowing the idea from other people, but this is something that I have really wanted to do for a very long time. And I just want to see what my list looks like. And because this is the last year I can actually do this, because next year we're going to have another Halloween film. And you can't do 32 on 31. So I want to be able to do this before we get all the new Halloween films. We get all, in the future, hopefully Friday the 13th can finally get out of this stupid lawsuit or this this lawsuit problem. And Nightmare on Elm Street could also kind of move forward. And that way I don't ever have to do one of these things again. But I'm thinking about doing that on October 31st. I might also do a kind of just sit down live stream of me watching, whether it be a couple horror films or like I just did a Child's Play one like a couple months ago for the release of the Child's Play reboot. I could do Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2 because I'm getting both of those movies on Blu-ray very soon, which I'm not going to show you anything yet. You guys will just have to wait for my Blu-ray haul video, which will be coming up next month. I'm not going to share any details about that. But if you are a huge fan of the horror community and you follow like specialty line Blu-rays, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I could do something like that. I would only do the first two movies. I ain't going to watch all the other Hellraiser movies because they all suck. I could do I want to do like a classic look at certain horror films. I want to do some like more in-depth stuff on certain horror films. And it's going to be a lot of fun. October is going to be a crazy time and really looking forward to it, as well as looking forward to Joker and doing all my newly released stuff. I am also very much looking forward to and very excited to do all horror stuff because I'm a huge horror fan. And so there's going to be a lot. I just started watching, I'm a little late to the party, I know, A Haunting on Hill House. I just started watching it today. I've only gotten through the first episode. So I could even do a review on that series or on that season very soon. So probably you can expect that within the week or so. Maybe I'll do that on October 2nd or 3rd. I haven't really decided yet what I want to do. But it is going to be a very busy time for this channel. And so if you are not subscribed, you better subscribe right now, right down below, because you are not going to want to miss all this horror stuff. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of horror goodness. I might have some special guests, some friends. My buddy Nate is one of those people who I might actually do something with. We'll see, where we review a horror film. And that could be a lot of fun. We could do a live stream. He has a lot of followers. And so definitely check out his channel as well. It's Nathan Hale, Hale. So we one thing that I'm thinking about doing with him, and I know I shouldn't be talking about this because this isn't what this video is for, but one thing I have been thinking about doing with him is I've been thinking about taking a film like Halloween, for example, which I'm going to be doing a live commentary on, and we both sit down and we talk about Halloween, the film, what he thinks in his perspective and what I think, because I've never really talked to him about Halloween, and it's always been a movie that I just want everyone to watch. If you've not watched John Carpenter's original 1978 Halloween, just stop watching this video right now. Go and watch that movie, because that movie is still, to me, the scariest film I'd ever seen. It's the only film that's really ever given me nightmares, and absolutely love it. So I might also do some other videos about like the future of horror and stuff like that. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff. Haven't really gotten through the details. I will be making another live stream very soon within the week, talking about all of the horror stuff that I want to do for October and Halloween. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really, really awesome. I'm really pumped, and yeah. It's all because of you guys that I'm able to continue to make content and continue to have fun making content, really. But anyway, I just want to make this quick stream. And I want to thank you guys for your condolences. It has been a tough day, like I said, but it's also been a day that is joyous because I can celebrate the life of a family member. You know, dogs to me are more than just a dog, and this was a part of my family, and my dog's gonna be very, very, very much missed. Best dog a kid could have ever asked for. Don't want to get too sentimental, but I don't want to get too emotional either. But he was a dog that I'm grateful that my family was able um, to have, and grateful that he blessed my life the way that he did. Ever heard of Thanksgiving? I have not. I have not heard of that. I have heard of there's a horror film. I'm a huge slasher fan, so slasher is my favorite subgenre um, of horror, and it's probably the one subgenre that actually really got me into horror, like other horror. So I got to thank slashers for it. I'm trying to think of what that film is called. I have it in my Amazon cart. Um, Sorry, guys. Again, I know I'm not super professional. Um, um, where is it? Where is it? I know you're around here somewhere. Oh, okay, there we go. Blood Rage. Have you ever heard of Blood Rage? That is a Thanksgiving slasher film. I have it on my Amazon cart, and I want to get it at some point pretty soon. Haven't pulled the plug and got it yet, but it's not super expensive or anything. It's just one of those things. I'm gonna sit like this, guys, because honestly, my back is absolutely killing me. Um, but yeah, that's the only like Thanksgiving horror film that I know, or like slasher. Well, if you ever want to see a killer turkey murder people, then check it out. It's so stupid, it's hilarious. That's funny that was like a comment that was flagged for review. Maybe because it's stupid. Um, that's interesting. Yeah, I might have to check that one out. That could be like I love B movies, so it sounds like a B movie like that's right up my alley, and that could be a movie that I could do a B-roll cinema review on. Which I've only ever done one. I've wanted to do more, but they do take a lot of time. And yeah, another thing also that I should say is I'm out. I'm losing my voice. That's what I wanted to say. No, I have really been putting off a lot of the Star Wars reviews and content because I've just been busy with other stuff on my channel. But those are coming back. I actually have two right now that I shot and filmed with my friend Clayton. If you haven't watched them, you can find them in my channel under Star Wars reviews. We have reviewed episode 1, 2, and 3, and I have reviewed Solo twice on my channel. But I have his solo reviews, just his standalone solo review, and then I also have our review of Rogue One. And I need to get those churning out more. So some of those will be out. A couple of those will be out this week, and then more will be out. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The last 5 will most likely be out a little bit in October, probably 1 or 2 of them in October, and then the rest in November and December leading up to episode 9. Episode 8 probably won't be out until my episode 8 review probably won't be out until probably I want to say like 2 or 3 days before episode 9. The turkey spews one-liners more than Freddy Krueger, and he carries a shotgun with him and a hatchet. I need to check this out. Thanksgiving. I'm going to check this out right now. Oh, I can watch it on Vudu for free. 2008 slasher horror film. Oh, dude. Thanksgiving is a 2008 American horror black comedy film written and directed by Jordan Downey and co-written by Brad Scholes, Tony Wilson, Grant Yaffe, and Kevin Stewart. It was followed by a 2013 sequel. There's a 2013 sequel, Thanksgiving 3. Wait, what about the second one? That's awesome. Yeah, I'm watching this. I will definitely watch this, and I will do a review for you, True Horror Fanatic. This most likely be an October review. I'm not even kidding. This will probably be a B-roll cinema review because I've been wanting to do another one, but it's easy to find a lot of those movies that are just not good, but they're entertaining and fun to watch, like Troll 2. But it's those reviews are scary to me because I get really in depth, and it's a lot of work put into that. But I will totally do this Thanksgiving review. Like, this sounds amazing. There's another one my buddy Jose had showed me. It's for this movie called Rubber, about this tire that kills people, and that could be another one that I could do. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of content. Thanks for putting this on my radar, man. I'm definitely gonna have to check this one out. I love films like this. It's so bad it's good. Great. Hopefully we get like you know, The Room situation with like Tommy Wiseau. But that's amazing, man. I didn't even know. Now that I've seen this, I feel like I've seen this before. I really feel like I've seen this before. Yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe there's like a sequel too. That's awesome. That's awesome. So if you guys have any weird movies you want me to review, list them down below, because guess what? I might do it. Thanks, Killing. Thank you for putting that on my radar. That is one that I will definitely be checking out in October. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this video. My throat is kind of gone. First minute cracked me up so much I cried. Awesome. I cannot wait then, dude. Thanks for putting this on my radar. And if you guys want to check it out, definitely watch it. But yeah, I think I'm going to go. My voice is a little like dry. My throat's a little dry. My voice kind of hurts because I've been talking for an hour and I didn't fill up a drink or anything before I started the stream. But I'm going to go and, let you guys kind of have the rest of your night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your condolences. Again, direct them towards my family at this time, and just know that I love you guys. I really do, and I'm grateful for everything that you guys have blessed me with, and the relationships I've been able to make has been truly fantastic, and it's been truly amazing. Again, subscribe to my channel if you have not. October should be enough for you guys to want to subscribe, man. There's gonna be so much content. It's gonna be freaking awesome. And watch out for my Halloween live stream commentary, which will be coming on October 1st. I do not have a time yet, but I will have one very soon. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this live stream. Thank you so much for listening to me talk for an hour and 15 minutes, whatever it's been. And thank you all so much for your love and support. It really means a lot. And also go check out my Ad Astra review. I just posted that up just a couple hours ago. So Ad Astra, yeah, I totally forgot to mention that. Yeah, you guys should totally go and watch my Ad Astra review, the new science fiction space epic with Brad Pitt. I go in depth about my thoughts on the film, and yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.